cheap accommodation, immigration, bus travel, where to get pesos, and more. Keep watching for my best Mexico City airport tips for smooth and stress-free travel. For the best advice about moving to Mexico, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I upload a new episode every Thursday. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you've been here before, welcome back. My name is Alex, and I moved to Mexico from the US in 2017. I've called Querétaro home ever since. After 7 perfect weeks in Michigan, I am back in Mexico. I traveled back to Mexico earlier this week and documented the whole trip over on my Instagram stories in real time. And actually, this message from a follower inspired today's video. We are flying out of CDMX to LAX and back in late September. What do we need to know? Since moving to Mexico, I've flown into and out of Mexico City dozens of times, and in today's video, I'm sharing my best Mexico City airport tips for stress-free and smooth travel. Number 1, give yourself plenty of time. I don't know how else to say this except the Mexico City airport has chaotic energy. It just seems like it's always something at the Mexico City airport. Crazy lines of people at the Aeromexico check-in this morning. Oh. So even if you're an experienced traveler, even if you consider yourself an expert traveler, please give yourself at least 2 hours before your flight at this airport. Number 2, know your terminal. The Mexico City Airport, which is also known as the Benito Juárez Aeropuerto Internacional, has 2 terminals, Terminal 1 and Terminal 2. Now, as a general rule of thumb, international flights arrive to and depart from Terminal 2. But please, please, please make sure to double check, then triple check which terminal you are flying out of. To do this, I just Google the name of the airline and Terminal Mexico City. There is an interterminal train that will take you from one terminal to the other. You definitely can't walk, but if you're gonna ride this train, just know that you'll have to show your boarding pass. Number 3, consider accommodation near the airport. The Courtyard Marriott as well as the Camino Real are both connected right to the airport via a walkway. But if you're like me and you hate spending good money on a night's stay near the airport, then I have a good budget option for you. My go-to is the Hostel Mexico DF Airport. It's clean, it's safe, and it's really close by. In fact, it's located in the neighborhood right across from Terminal 1. You've got dormitory options, you've got private room options, and it's super easy to get over there via Uber. And if you keep watching this video, I'm gonna share some tips for taking Uber to and from the Mexico City airport. Number 4, keep track of your FMM. The FMM, or the Forma Migratoria Multiple, is sometimes referred to as a tourist visa, but more accurately, it's an admission document. And every foreigner, I mean every foreigner, whether you are a tourist or a temporary or permanent resident, you've got to fill one of these out when you enter Mexico. In a minute, I will explain what temporary and permanent residents do, the process that they go through when entering and leaving Mexico with their FMM. But first, let's go over what tourists need to know about the FMM. Usually on your flight to Mexico, the flight attendants will hand out the FMM form on the plane so you can fill it out and have it ready to go for when you pass through immigration. If for some reason the crew doesn't give you an FMM or you forget to fill it out on the plane, don't worry, you can get one in the immigration area. The form is in English as well as Spanish, and the only box that tourists don't need to worry about filling out is number 8, the immigration form or card number. You can go ahead and just leave number 8 blank. Before you get up to the immigration official, you need to have the top as well as the bottom portions of the FMM filled out. And when you get up to the official, they will check your form, they will check your passport, and they will rip off the bottom part of the form. Now on that bottom part of the form, before they hand it back to you, they will stamp it and they will write out how many days you have to stay in Mexico. The number of days you get is up to the immigration official, but passport holders from the US, from Canada, from a number of countries can get up to 180 days as a tourist. Be sure to keep track of that bottom portion of your FMM because you are going to need to turn it in prior to leaving Mexico. You will turn it in at the gate before boarding your flight. If you do lose your FMM, don't panic, don't freak out. You can get another one. You'll just have to go to the immigration desk at the airport before you leave Mexico. You will pay a fine and get a new FMM. With all that being said, Mexican immigration is working on a new system that will eliminate the paper FMM. They're trying to go electronic, go digital. Right now, this test program is being rolled out at the Cancun airport, and I will keep you updated as the program progresses and if it ends up moving to other airports in Mexico. Number 5, residents must go to the immigration desk. Temporary and permanent residents don't have to keep track of an FMM while in Mexico like tourists do. Instead, before you leave Mexico, you have to go to the immigration desk at the airport and fill out an FMM there. At the Mexico City airport, the immigration desk is right on the other side of security, and don't worry, there's lots of signage showing you where. At the immigration desk, you'll get an FMM and you will fill out just the bottom part. Don't rip it off though. Hand it to the immigration official along with your passport, along with your residency card, and they will stamp it, sign it, and they will also mark the top part up here. When you leave at the boarding gate, you will turn in the bottom portion, but you will keep the top portion for the duration of your stay outside of Mexico. So keep it with your passport, keep it somewhere safe, and then when you return to Mexico, you will fill out the top portion and hand it in to immigration when entering the country. For number 7, you will write down the state in Mexico that issued your residency card. If you don't remember, it's on the back at the top of your residency card. And then for number 8, you will fill it out with the number on the back of your residency card. Number 6, look for the Extranjeros line in immigration. Regardless of whether you are a tourist or a resident, all foreigners go in the same line for immigration. If you're thinking about getting your residency in Mexico and looking for a step-by-step guide to lead you through the process, then you can use the code YouTube10 for $10 off the Mexico Residency Roadmap. From the easy-to-follow checklist and the detailed FAQ section to the handy Spanish phrasebook, I created the resource I wish I would have had when I was navigating the residency process in Mexico. Check out the link in the description for more information. Number 7. Don't leave the airport if your layover is shorter than 8 hours. I know that it sucks to be waiting around at the airport between flights, but if it were me personally, I would not risk leaving the airport to go into Mexico City if my layover was any shorter than 8 hours. The traffic in Mexico City is notoriously bad, and if you do decide to leave the airport, then make sure that you factor in rush hour if the rush hour times coincide with your return trip to the airport. Number 8. Clearly communicate your pickup spot to your rideshare driver. While there are other options for getting to and from the Mexico City airport, my go-to, my favorite, in my opinion, the most affordable and convenient option is to use a rideshare app like Uber or Didi. When you are arranging your pickup with the driver, make sure to note the gate or the puerta where you're going to be meeting your driver. Sometimes you can select this when you are putting in the location, or you can just send the driver a message inside the app. If you are arranging for a ride to the airport, then make sure you pick the correct terminal. Number 9. Take a bus right from or to the airport. If Mexico City isn't your final destination and you're trying to get somewhere else in central Mexico, like say Querétaro, then there's a good chance you can take a bus right from the Mexico City airport. Buses leave from both Terminal 1 and Terminal 2, just follow the signs. Primera Plus is the bus line that will get you to Querétaro, and you can buy tickets at the counter or online ahead of time. A one-way ticket costs approximately 465 pesos, and the journey takes around 3 hours. If you'd like to see a more detailed video about bus travel in Mexico, if you want to hear my tips, then let me know in the comments below. Number 10, opt for carry-on only whenever possible. If you are flying into Mexico City from an international destination, know that you will need to likely change terminals once you get to Mexico City, and you'll also probably have to get your bag from baggage claim and recheck it. So if you've got a short layover, you're trying to travel fast, try to do carry-on only. I will put a link in the description below for my go-to carry-on approved travel backpack that I just don't go anywhere without. Number 11, avoid currency exchanges. Because cash is king in Mexico, I recommend getting some pesos before you even leave the airport. Now, I don't use currency exchanges. Instead, I use my Charles Schwab debit card to withdraw pesos from the ATM. At the Mexico City airport, I like the Santander ATM. It's safe to use, and if you decline the conversion, not the transaction, the conversion, then there's a good chance your bank back home will give you a better rate. If you have any questions about the Mexico City airport tips that I mentioned in this video, please feel free to ask in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. I'm Alex from backpackingbrunette.com. Thanks for watching.